Once upon a time in a lush green forest, there lay a tranquil pond known as Anokhi Talab. This pond was home to a variety of creatures, but among them, the most notable were two frogs named Meenu and Jeenu. Meenu was a thoughtful and cautious frog, always pondering before taking any action. Jeenu, on the other hand, was adventurous and daring, often jumping into situations without much thought. The two frogs, despite their differences, were the best of friends. They spent their days leaping on lily pads, catching flies, and croaking merrily in the sun. The pond was their paradise, providing everything they needed for a happy life. The water was clear and cool, the plants were abundant, and the forest around them was peaceful. One bright morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, Meenu and Jeenu were basking on their favorite lily pad. Meenu was telling Jeenu about the importance of thinking before acting, but Jeenu was too busy planning his next adventure to pay much attention. "Meenu, you worry too much," Jeenu exclaimed. "Life is about enjoying every moment. Look at the world around us. There's so much to explore and experience." Meenu sighed and replied, "Jeenu, I understand your excitement, but being careful doesn't mean you can't have fun. It just means you stay safe while doing so." One day, as the two friends were hopping around the pond, they overheard a conversation between two fish. The fish were talking about a large, mysterious pond deep within the forest, filled with the juiciest flies and the coolest water. This piqued Jeenu's curiosity. "Did you hear that, Meenu? A pond with the juiciest flies and the coolest water. We must go and see it for ourselves," Jeenu said with gleaming eyes. Meenu hesitated. "But Jeenu, we've never left Anokhi Talab before. We don't know what's out there. It could be dangerous." "Come on, Meenu. Where's your sense of adventure? We'll be fine as long as we are together. Think of all the delicious flies waiting for us," Jeenu persuaded. After much convincing, Meenu reluctantly agreed. The next morning, they set off on their journey. The forest was vast and filled with unknowns, but Jeenu's excitement kept them moving forward. They hopped through thick foliage, over rocks, and across streams, their curiosity guiding them deeper into the forest. As they ventured further, the forest became denser and darker. Strange sounds echoed through the trees, and unfamiliar creatures scurried past. Meenu grew more anxious, but Jeenu's determination kept them going. After hours of hopping, they stumbled upon a wide, muddy path. "This must lead to the mysterious pond," Jeenu declared confidently. Suddenly, they heard a loud, croaking noise coming from the bushes. Out jumped a large, grumpy-looking toad. "Who dares to enter my territory?" he demanded. "We are just passing through," Meenu said nervously. "We are looking for a pond with the juiciest flies and the coolest water." The toad eyed them suspiciously. "Many have come looking for that pond, but few return. The path is treacherous, and dangers lurk at every turn." Jeenu, unfazed by the toad's warning, replied, "We are not afraid. We can handle any challenge." Meenu, however, was more cautious. "Thank you for the warning. We'll be careful." The toad grunted and hopped away, leaving Meenu and Jeenu to continue their journey. As they moved forward, they encountered more obstacles. They had to cross a fast-moving stream, avoid thorny bushes, and navigate through dense undergrowth. Their journey became increasingly difficult. Meenu's cautious nature helped them avoid several dangers, but Jeenu's impulsiveness led them into trouble more than once. At one point, Jeenu leaped into a patch of quicksand, and it was only with Meenu's quick thinking that they managed to escape. "Jeenu, we need to be more careful. This forest is full of hidden dangers," Meenu urged. Jeenu, covered in mud and breathing heavily, nodded. "You're right, Meenu. I should have listened to you. Let's stick together and be more cautious." With renewed caution, they pressed on. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the forest floor. Just as they were about to lose hope, they caught a glimpse of water shimmering through the trees. "Look, Meenu! We found it!" Jeenu exclaimed. They hopped eagerly towards the water, but as they got closer, they realized it wasn't the pond they had imagined. The water was murky, and the flies buzzing around were few and far between. Disappointed, they decided to rest for the night and continue their search in the morning. As they settled down, Meenu noticed something unusual. There were strange footprints around the water's edge. "Jeenu, these footprints don't look friendly. We should stay alert." Throughout the night, they took turns keeping watch. Their cautious approach paid off when they heard rustling in the bushes. A large, sly-looking snake slithered towards the water, searching for its next meal. Meenu and Jeenu remained still and silent, watching as the snake drank and then slithered away. The next morning, Meenu and Jeenu decided to head back to Anokhi Talab. They realized that their home pond was just as special as any other, and the adventure had taught them the importance of caution and teamwork. As they retraced their steps, they encountered the grumpy toad once more. "Did you find what you were looking for?" he asked. "No, but we learned an important lesson," Meenu replied. "It's not always about finding something new and exciting. Sometimes, the best place is where you feel safe and loved." Jeenu added, "And it's important to be cautious and think things through. We wouldn't have made it back without Meenu's careful planning." The toad nodded approvingly. "Wise words, little frogs. Safe travels." When Meenu and Jeenu finally returned to Anokhi Talab, they were greeted by their friends with joy and relief. They shared their adventure and the lessons they had learned, and everyone in the pond listened intently. From that day on, Meenu and Jeenu were known not just for their friendship, but also for their wisdom and bravery. They continued to enjoy their peaceful pond, but with a newfound appreciation for the safety and love it provided. And so, the two frogs lived happily ever after, hopping around Anokhi Talab, catching flies, and croaking merrily under the sun. They knew that no matter how tempting other places might seem, there was no place like home. If you like the story, then subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.